Hi guys, good evening. So this is Arlene from the Philippines and yep, I'm here again. So as promised last time when we did my first live stream, I promised that I will make a video about purchasing property here in the Philippines, and yeah, this is today. So but before I forget, I want to thank our subscribers for continuously supporting my channel. Thank you so much, guys. We are now 3,500 subscribers. Yay! So that's really a lot. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. And thank you. And I hope that you will continuously support my channel. And I want to make a special shout out for today. I got a phone call, and actually he asked me to, yeah, he said, Arlene, please do a shout out for me. So okay, so shout out to Dr. Ferrer. So he said that he and his wife are watching my videos every day, and they are finding, or they want to find the perfect farm lot for them for their retirement. So I hope one day I will meet you guys, and you will purchase property from me, okay? So today I wanna discuss about purchasing or buying property here in the Philippines for my co-Filipinos and for foreigners alike. And before that, I just wanna make it clear, foreigners cannot own or buy properties here in the Philippines. When I say properties, I'm referring to land. But foreigners can own or lease buildings here in the Philippines, or they can also own condos and brand new vehicles, okay? So, yep, so let's continue. Okay, so when you want to buy a property here in the Philippines because you're a Filipino, or you're married to a Filipina, or you're thinking to marry a Filipina, then the first thing that you have to check is the location. So where would be the location? So where you gonna build your dream house, or where you gonna build your retirement home, or where just you wanna build your weekend house, something like that, because those are the questions that easily come up when I'm discussing this with clients for the past several months. So they are like, they want to build their house, but it's only for weekend, or it's only for preparation for their retirement, so location is very important, and location is everything. So at the moment, I'm so much focused on Lipa City because this is where we are living, and it's very much convenient to me because I can drive the car, or I can, when it's just nearby, then I can drive scooter, and anytime I can go back home. And as well, with this COVID thing, it's not easy to travel outside Batangas area because I need travel pass. So, but I'm expanding already to Quezon province, but actually very close to the boundary of Lipa City. And I want to expand more to Laguna area, but that will take some time because of this pandemic, okay? So, and as well, I have some properties in Rosario, but not much. But I will upload more about all these places, and more about affordable lots and smaller cuts, and as well houses and lots for sale, okay? So let's go to our topic. So location is everything. So when you found the right location for you, the next step that you have to do is call the advertiser, or call the agent, or call the person who posted the videos or pictures or whatever. So you can find this on YouTube, like me. If you're watching my videos, then yeah, you can contact me, or you have to ask a lot of questions from them. You have to ask basically, first, where it's really located, which barangay it is located. Aside from that, you have to ask for the exact measurements of the property. In that way you will get really accurate information. So what is the frontage, what is the total land area, Is it along the barangay road? Does it has a right of way? Is there water and internet? Is there water, electricity, and internet connections available? Something like that, you know, because there are some areas in which water and electricity is available. Actually, all areas, that's the correction. All areas we have water and electricity available, but internet, there's still some spots, especially here in Lipa City, which they don't have internet connection due to proximity to the server, something like that. So, but the PLDT is working on it that everybody in Lipa City will have internet connection as soon as possible. So, because nowadays, you know, people need internet, right? So, when you ask all these questions, and of course, the most important thing is the price. Nowadays, we are dealing with price per square meter. Before, I think 10, 20 years ago, we are dealing with bulk, you know. They don't mention they just mention the lot size, and then they will give you a specific price for that. Nowadays, they are counting how many square meter. That's why, and in general, when the property is big, like 1 hectare, 2 hectare, 10 hectares, then the price is much cheaper, you know. Then you can find like 350 pesos per square meter. But if the property is smaller and it's titled, and then the price goes up. So like 1,000 square meter, you can get in Lipa City approximately for, depends on the location, right? So let's just say 850,000 pesos, something like that. Then it's 850 pesos per square meter. And so you have to ask all these questions. And as well, the most important thing aside from the price is the title. So title means that the property has a certificate of title, you know, like do I have something like here? Okay, wait, I will show you. Okay guys, so this is transfer certificate of title. This is just a photocopy, because we are not allowed to take original, right? Because we are not the owner. So this is just an example. Okay, so that is transfer certificate of title. So normally agents, they would take pictures of the property, they would make videos of the property, and it's a must nowadays that they have this Google coordinates. In that way, you know, potential buyers can check really the location of the property. So you also have to ask about the title, you know, what's you're really interested in. You can already ask for the title. Is it titled? So titled means that the seller is really the owner of that property, of that said property, you know. And one way to verify it is once you have the photocopy of the title, you can go to Registry of Deeds, and then they will encode, because here they have this. You see this one? This is the barcode. So actually, if the Registry of Deed assigned in that area or in that city is really high tech, then they will just scan this, and you know, it will appear. But if not, they can check the transfer title, the transfer title. They can check the number and encode them in their computer, and then they will find out that person is really the owner of the property, and whether it is mortgaged or not. So when the title is not mortgaged, then we how can I say, we say that it's a clean title, you know, because it's not mortgaged in the bank. When it is mortgaged in the bank, then some people refer to it as not clean, but basically it's only like because it's, you know, you use it as collateral in the bank, you know, something like that. But once the title, the loan is paid, then actually it's good, you know. For me, as long as you have the title, it doesn't matter whether you use it for collateral in the bank, because you can always pay the bank and then you get your title back, right? And then it's so good now, something like that. So you have to ask whether the property is titled, because there are some instances that it can also be with tax declaration. Tax declaration means it's a paper showing that you own the property, and but it's not, how can I say, what's the difference? So to show that you own the property means that you have the tax declaration plus the receipts of payments that you paid for the real property tax. So for example, you owned it, your parents owned it like since 1920, so it would be best if you have all the receipts from 1920 up to the present, you know, because it means that you can prove to whoever, or to the lawyer, or to the court, or the person buying your property that you owned it, you know, something like that. So I will check tax declaration versus, because in that way we have to get informed, tax declaration versus title. So here it says here, land titles and tax declaration are different based on title. Piece of property, piece of land actually states full ownership of a piece of land, while tax declaration is normally used for land that forms part of a much larger title. The title for the land is the combined document. That is a little bit misleading. Okay, so how can I generally say this? Title or transfer certificate of titles is a definitive proof that you own the property because your name will be standing on it. While tax declaration is a piece of paper which showed you own the property, but in a way it's not definitive because tax declaration can be converted into titles. You know, what you only have to do is you have to order a survey, pay 20,000 pesos or I don't know how much to other surveyors, and then with the help of the survey, the receipts of real property tax payments, and for example certificate of no improvement or tax clearance and all that, and what do you mean, this vicinity map or this lot plan, then you can have this tax declaration converted into title. It's just easy. It's actually quite simple. So in that way, there are some people that they don't like to buy property because it's tax declaration. Actually guys, you can always convert it to title. Okay, so let's go back. So you have to check the property, right? Whether it's titled, you know, whether it's along the barangay road, whether it's it has water, electricity, and internet connection, and that's it, and the location of the property. And once you are really so much in love with the property, then you can ask your agent for a site visit, or normally we call it here in the Philippines like trippings, you know, like a trip. So yeah, you meet with the agent, and you know, he will or she will pick you up at your meeting point, and then yeah, he will show you the property. So once you are in the property, you have to check everything. You know, you have to check the neighborhood. What kind of neighborhood do they have? You know, is it true that the land area is something like that? Is it true that there is water, electricity, and internet connection? Check all four corners, or sometimes it's more than four because the shape is not square or rectangle. And check the road, you know, and as well be more observant than normal because and if possible you can stay like a little bit longer. You should not be in a hurry because that will be your home if you really like that property, right? And if possible, if you see some neighbors, then go and check on them, you know, make a small chit chat, and that way you will already get the feeling what is going on in that community, right? So that is normally what I'm doing. If I see some people, you know, like checking, and then I will just go out and ask, you know, I'm checking about this property, so what do you think about this place, something like that. Generally they will say a lot of good things about the community, because that is their community, right? Nobody will say bad things about their community. But yeah, if it's really good, then you will find out, okay? And as well, if you want to really check about the neighborhood, you can go to the barangay captain or to the barangay outpost or something like that. And that way they can tell you a lot of stories, you know. And if one side tripping is not enough because you still have a lot of questions, you can do a second one or a third one, you know, because it will not hurt you to check more, right? So you have already had the location, then you already visited the site, and then the next step is you are so much in love with this property, right? Then you will sign the deal. So the deal means that, okay, I want to buy this property. So what's the next step? Then the agent will organize a meeting in which you will sign the deed of absolute sale. It means that you will pay money. It's either in cash or in kind, like manager's check. And then they will hand over you the title, and that's it. Aside from other forms that they have to sign, you know, like the capital gains tax, the payment form, the documentary stamps, you know, something, and a lot of paperwork actually. So they will have you sign it. But before signing everything, don't forget about who will pay the capital gains tax. So normally, the seller should pay for the capital gains tax because the seller is the one who benefits from selling the property, right? That's why it's capital gains tax. So, but nowadays there are a lot of sellers that they will say, no, I wanna have a net. You know, it means that, okay, I don't want to deal with any of that, but I want to have like net 500 pesos per square meter, something like that, you know. So it means that the buyer had to shoulder everything. So yeah, capital gains tax here in the Philippines is 6% of the selling price, and another 1.5% for documentary stamp fee. And aside from that, you have to pay for the transfer of the title. I don't know how actually this works because it's a little bit confusing for me. They will give you the full amount the moment you are already paying by the Registry of Deeds. And I remember for a 500 square meter property here in Lipa City, approximately you have to pay like 5,000 to 7,500 pesos payment, so you can have the title transferred to your name. So I don't know how much it will be for like 1 hectare. I don't know. I will give you an idea once we transfer something like that big. In that way, you will get the updated price. Okay. So yeah, so once the seller and you, the buyer, decided, okay, who will pay for the capital gains tax and for the transfer of the title, and then okay, you have to proceed with the deed of sale. So once you sign the deed of sale, you just have to present your valid ID or valid identification card in the attorney's office together with your TIN number, and that way they can process the BIR payments, and then it's actually good. So if you know how to do it yourself, then you can process this, because from the moment the deed of sale is notarized, for example, it's notarized today, then you have only 30 days to forward it to BIR, otherwise you will pay penalty. And actually guys, that is very expensive. So I suggest, for example, it's notarized today and it's Friday, then next Monday you have to bring it to BIR, and that way you will not get fined because it is very expensive. And then after that, BIR will release the documents before 2 to 3 weeks. You will have the certificate authorizing registration, they call it CAR, and from there you bring those bunch of papers to the Registry of Deeds, and then they will check. So the Registry of Deeds will check if you have all the documents, you know, and then they will give you a checklist. So you need tax clearance, tax declaration, certificate of no improvement. If it's less than 1 hectare, then you need affidavit of seller and buyer and non-tenancy certificate, something like that, and certification from your bar chairman, which is coming from the barangay. So you have to find out who is that person. And if it's more than 1 hectare, then there's a lot more paperwork because for example, now in Lipa City, then you have to go to Tanawan, Batangas City to check if the seller or the buyer has more than 5 hectares property, because here in the Philippines, each individual or each citizen is only allowed to have 5 hectare property, okay? Agricultural. So if it's more than 5 hectares, then it's a little bit tricky. I don't know what will happen, but generally they want to check this, okay? So it's more complicated. It's not complicated really, but it's more paperwork when you want to purchase more than 1 hectare. But if it's less than 1 hectare, then there's not so much paperwork. The addition paper will be this certification from this bar chairman that you have like less than 5 hectare property, you know, something like that. And once you forwarded all the documents to the Registry of Deeds, they will tell you how many days approximately. So I checked last time, it will take like 21 days, but because of this COVID thing, it will take now months because they have a lot of backlog, you know, something like that. So and after you can check, because they will send you something like, they will give you a number in which you can verify that you have to call. And once it's released, then you will have this transfer certificate of title, or the TCT we call it. And then it's yours, you know, that it's already in your name. So you have to safeguard this very good, because that is the proof, definitive proof that you own the property. And they will advise you to photocopy it and together with your identification card and bring it to the assessor's office. And finally, they will release you with a tax declaration, because that's additional proof that you own the property, right? So, and every year you have to pay for the real property tax. So that's it. Actually, it's just simple. And I have to go back. If you don't know how to process the titling yourself from BIR to Registry of Deeds, then there are people that they can do it for you. You know, you have to pay some money. Some people are asking 10,000 to as much as 100,000 for that. And you have to issue them a special power of attorney or SPA. In that way, they can process on your name, because otherwise it will not be allowed. So I'm not sure if I covered everything up, but basically that is the gist on how to purchase property in the Philippines, and some tips. So what tips can I give you? So I think basically it's you have to ask a lot of questions, because in that way you will get really the story behind it, and you will get more information if you ask a lot of questions. And if possible and you really like this property, you have to do the site visit yourself. Don't ask your brother or your sister or your mother or your relative, because at the end of the day you will live there, not them, you know, and it's your money. Okay, so if you have really the time, then visit it, you know. And if one visit is not enough, then do a second or third one or fourth one, you know, until you're really sure that that is something you want, you know. But basically, if you don't want it and you already bought it, then you can just sell it, but it will take some time, right? And one more tip is that you have to verify the title by a Registry of Deeds. In that way, you are informed whether the title is clean, or whether it's mortgage, or the owner really is the owner of the property. In that way, you are safe. And last but not the least is really trust your instincts, and deal with people whom you know, because basically, you know, we're talking about money here. So yeah, it can be tricky, but yeah, that is my advice. Ask for receipts. That's important. For example, you wanna ask me to process the titling of your property, then basically I will show you the receipts and the computation and everything. It's enumerated, or how can I say, what is the right word? It's not enumerated, but it will be listed. So in that way, and the date and everything, it should be that way. In that way, that that you can trust the person, right? So guys, those are the basic things, or the rule procedures in purchasing properties here in the Philippines, and some tips that I gave you. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at oli.arlene@gmail.com, or if you want to check Facebook page, that is much better, and that way we can exchange. When you're checking property, then you can send more pictures on Messenger. So you can check Facebook by Arlene Lewandowski. I'm exactly there. My profile picture is the lady wearing the jumper on the beach. And you can also send SMS or call me at my mobile number, +63. I cannot remember, +63 917 621 4090. Yeah. And yeah, don't how can I say? Don't how can I ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. Asking questions is good. And that way you will get all the information you need. And if you are not sure, and if you have doubt, then don't purchase that property, okay? So that's all, guys, and thank you so much again for 3,500 subscribers, and see you on my next LS. That will be on August 1. I will post it on the community tab. And thank you so much, guys. Good night. Bye.